Welcome back to here. I'm trying to fix this thing. I have my microphone looped around the bed, so I gotta make sure I fix it. I have to adjust this thing. Oh boy, this is a struggle of doing videos on YouTube. Sometimes you do things and then you realize you didn't do it the right way. All right, so let me see if I can find the tissue and clean the lens, because it looks to me that the lens isn't really clean enough. So just bear with me, give me a minute. We're all going to talk about this, and this is very serious, guys. It's very, very important. I want y'all to pay attention to this, because not that many people out there tell you the reality of things the way I do, because I care about all of you and I care about the future of us young Congolese in the diaspora, okay? And I got to share with you experiences and things that I know could make you a lot of money, like lots of money, if you do it right, you do it the right way, okay? Because one things that I've noticed, for most of us Congolese living here in the diaspora, we all have a lot of things in common, all right? So we all go through the same struggles, we all complain about the same issues, but sometimes it is what it is. We just got to sit there and suck it up, right? So guys, I see one person in the chat, so please give me a thumbs up. I will really appreciate it. And if you don't mind, let me know where you're watching from. That will really mean a lot, because we have to combat this YouTube algorithm. You know what I mean? YouTube will send this video to more people if they see you guys liking it. Because if you don't like the video, YouTube will be like, oh, nobody really wants to see this stuff. Why would I care? All right. So you show your involvement by hitting the like button. And if you can share the video, it's not going to cost you anything, because the objective of this channel and doing this live chat is I'm trying to bring awareness to a lot of Congolese who are in the diaspora, who probably share the same ideas as I do, or probably most of us here on this platform do. And we could all probably have the same voice and discuss the same issues and matters to impact or probably influence the next generation to do things differently, okay? So if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. And in the meantime, I'm still at my parking lot. I'm trying to get somewhere not too far from here, just here, right here in the neighborhood. So guys, come on, man. You're acting as if you're not even one of us here on this channel. So show the brother a love by giving me a thumbs up. It's not gonna cost you any money, okay? It's really not gonna cost you anything. In the meantime, I'm gonna hang out for a minute, wait for other people to join the chat. Maybe those that's gonna join the chat giving me a thumbs up will probably make me want to talk about the things that I want to talk about, because this is really giving me a hint. It's telling me you probably don't care about what I'm about to talk about, so I'm just gonna shut the fuck up then and wait for those that really find this message very, very informational and important. Join the chat and we could all have a conversation. So while we do that, I'm just gonna enjoy the ride. Cool and murder, hands up. Signature cover. Protect the mic, the right mic. And I got what it takes to write the mic right. And I got what it takes to write the mic right. And I got what it takes to write the mic right. All right. And I appreciate you announcing yourself in the chat, but you got to give me a thumbs up too. I need those thumbs up. That's going to trigger the YouTube algorithm to send the videos to other people. So give me a thumbs up. I don't know what you're waiting for. Give your boy a thumbs up. I'm almost here at my location. I'm almost here. So let me know where you're watching from and give me a thumbs up, and I will really appreciate it. Oh, look at the sun. It's coming out really high. Man, I can really feel that on the side of my face. Man. Oh, I'll really appreciate it, but that is not enough thumbs ups right there. Looks like there's more of you on the chat, and I only got one thumbs up. I gotta park right next to this car and make sure that I'm not too exposed to the sun. All right. So, all right, look at that. That's so much better. So let's do this. Oh man, I have never seen myself looking so clear on the lens. Listen, guys, I'm going live on my cell phone, bruh. I use Galaxy, I think it's S21 Ultra. No, it's S20 Ultra. That's what I use. I never knew that this can produce such beautiful and buttery image quality like this one. It's probably the angle, right? Okay, guys, let's get the ball started. Let's get the ball rolling. Okay, guys, so a lot of us here, Congolese living in diaspora, we all have a lot of things in common. Most of us here are either, if you're tuning in to watch this video, I assume you either are planning to move back to the Congo. Oh, awesome. Oh, yeah, I see you, brother. I see you. Thanks for tuning in. That really means a lot. All right, I know a lot of us Africans here in the diaspora, right? Most of us, especially those of you that are tuning in to watch this live chat, we all have, I'm convinced that we all have things in common. Either you are planning on starting a business in Congo, or you already live in Africa, you're trying to, establish yourself in Africa, or if you live here in the diaspora, you were planning on moving back to Africa to do something, or you're probably in the process of starting a business, but you're not sure what to do, or maybe you're not 100% certain why you want to go back there. Maybe a lot of you out there that are still interested in doing business in Africa, but are hesitant due to the infrastructures, just due to the conditions that some of our African countries go through. Those are valid and understandable reasons why that's holding a lot of you back. I get that. I do understand. But we also have to keep in mind that those issues particularly should not be the main reason why we're not getting ourselves involved in going to do business in Africa. Guys, I've spoken with so many African in my community here where I live in Pennsylvania, and most of them have one thing to say. Most of them feel the same exact way. A lot of people here hate their jobs. The reason they're continuing to go back to the job because that is the only option that they have. Because if they don't go back to work and get that paycheck, they're not going to have the money to pay the bill. They're not going to really have good means to live their lives. But there are so many business opportunities waiting for us in Africa that we don't really consider. We kick to the curb. Many people don't see the potentials, or every time we talk about this, they think it's a joke. But ask people that have left Africa to go find better, quote unquote, opportunities to the West, and ask them after a certain amount of years, what are those opportunities look like? Most people will tell you, oh man, I wish I never left. I wish I'm back in Africa. That's why I'm working so hard to get the money together and go back to my country. So instead of you spending or wasting your money to fly here to the West looking for those opportunities that nobody see, why can't you just stay back there and do your things? But this is really not the topic for this live chat, though. On this live chat, I mentioned on the title that 3 main things you can do specifically in Congo Kinshasa that will make you earn money so quickly. And I'm telling you this from experience because I personally have never done it, but my father, with everything, among everything he has ever done, when he was alive, this was one of them. And that is why I made the choice to get into agriculture, because I know that is the one of the sectors where there are always opportunities and there is always money, because the demand for food continue to increase yearly. And in order for us to live the way we live, we need food in our system. The consumption of food, it is what we all need, but it does not only limit itself on food side of it. That is the beauty of agriculture. We also need charcoal to prepare our food. We also need charcoal because we know the reality in most African countries, we really don't have the luxury of having electricity 24/7. Therefore, the demand for charcoal remains high because people need that to prepare their food. And guess what category does it fall under? It falls under agriculture, because you need trees to make charcoal from. Those trees are grown in lands which make it a part of agriculture. I'll start with charcoal. I did my math before I do this live stream. I'll give you one quick example. If you have 2,500 US dollars laying around, you take it back to the Congo. You could, biogas is actually a great thing, and I've been considering to get into that once I make a move to go back and start farming 100 like full time, because I cannot be a telephone farmer. That's not what I want to do, but we'll talk about that in a separate videos, right? If you have 2,500 US dollars laying around and you don't know what to do with it, I have an idea. If you take that money back to the Congo, you could be making 1,150 US dollars every week. Sounds pretty surprising, right? Check this out. One bag of charcoal, if you purchase it at a wholesale price, it costs you about 17,000 franc Congolese. If converted into US dollar, it is equivalent to approximately 8.50 to 9 US dollar. Follow me closely. That is the wholesale price, right? But the initial price in the market, it is $25. What does that tell you? That is almost double the price of the initial purchase, right? So if you have 2,500 US dollars and you purchase 100 bags of charcoal in whether Congo Central or Bandundu and bring it to the capital, after selling all of that, and keep in mind, it's not like you're going to sit there for weeks waiting for it. As soon as it gets to one of the markets, there are always vendors that are always there available waiting for it. They're going to, like, it just gets sold overnight before even the sun rise. It's already over, because there's people that are hustling and they're trying to find a way to, to send the kids to school and make sure that they have something on their table. They are always around these markets because that's what they do for a living. So you just being a provider for them, it's only going to make it's really going to make their life much better. So if you do that, you would probably spend a day or two, maybe 3 days trying to collect all of this merchandise, and you bring it to the capital, you sell it. With that, if you set aside, how much you've spent to purchase it, and then the transportation of the things, you will remain with you 1,150 US dollars in your hand in a matter of 3, maybe 4 days. But I only just put it a whole week because, things can happen. The car may break down, all of that stuff. But 1 week max, you could be making that kind of cash. So does that sound to you like something you wouldn't be interested in? Because a lot of us here in the West, let's be honest, how many of us just work, like, work a regular job and make $1,000 a week here in the West? I mean, I'm not saying like all of us, do the same thing and make the same amount of money. Some of us make a whole lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But that right there could unlock so many things that you've always wanted to do in your life. That's just one of them. Now, if we talk about corn or cassava, they act in the same manner, because these vendors, they do not only have one thing that they sell in the market. They purchase anything that is available at that time, because we have 2 seasons. In that 2 seasons, there are certain crops or certain, agricultural products that grow in a certain time of the year. So whatever it's available out there, that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to sell in the market. So if you're a producer of this, keep in mind, I just did this math considering that you don't own your own personal vehicle. I did this math saying that you go and spend money on transportation. But on the top of it, if you own your own vehicle, that picks up the food or all the products and bring it onto the capital. Can you imagine how much money you could be making? You could be making like twice or even 3 times more than that. So the last time I checked, the average individual here in America that just works at a warehouse, probably what they bring weekly is probably $500, maybe $600. If with overtime, they probably reach 750, maybe $800 for the most part. Or if somebody makes $1,000, ask them to show you how many overtimes they have on a paycheck. Astronomical. And physically, you're just killing your body. That's just one of the products that you could get into and make you so much money. That is number one. When we talk about corn, we talk about maize, because maize can be turned onto many different, like, variety of products that we consume in terms of food in the country. Like, coming from Africa, we use corn for multiple purposes, whether it is grounded maize, whether it is turned into, animal feeds. For those of us that are farmers, you can do a variety of things with it. And if you go buy it, bring it to the capital city, bingo, money keeps pouring into your pocket. So many people, when we talk about this stuff, they think it's a joke, but my father did it. And with all of this, it was able to buy, like, he owned hotels, bars, build homes. It got into many different sectors by doing that. So why can't you just sit back for a second instead of continuing to complain about how hard life is here in the West? Instead of to continue to complain about how, they exploit human nature here in the West. Why can't you just sit back and look into things that you could potentially make a lot of money on in Africa and just make the move? I'm starting to get a feeling that I might move back to Congo and, farm full time and start these different activities sooner than I thought, because I came to one realization is that if I want to be a farmer, I can't do it from the distance. I can't do it while I'm here in America. That's just not going to work. If I really want to be a full-time farmer and take advantage of, farming opportunities and how that could impact and change the way I see things, or probably achieve, ultimate goals that I've always dreamed of, it's just not going to be possible while I'm here in the West. So I'm not in a position to share what my next move is going to be yet. But what I can tell you from this standpoint is that I am considering to move back home full time to farm and take on to other business opportunities that are available out there. As crazy as this might sound, I know for most of us Africans, if you come from a family where, or if like, depending on like what your life looked like when you lived in Africa versus when you moved to the West, if you tell your family members that you're planning on moving back, they think you're crazy. They think like you're going mad. They think that there is something wrong with you. Maybe you should go see a psychologist. No, that's not the case. The reality is that no matter what we invite in these country, right? There is nothing more important than feeling at home. Excuse me. There is nothing more important than feeling wanted where you belong. There is nothing more important in this day and age than feeling just so relaxed and stress free. Do you want to know why? And I was having this discussion with friends of mine when we were watching the Super Bowl a couple of days ago. This was like last weekend, right? I think it was on a Saturday or something. So we were talking about this, and I'm telling them like, well, do you know why like a lot of people here in America are like committing suicides and dying before they hit the age of 70? Do you think it's because of like all they have? They're the richest country in the world, correct? So why is people here in America committing suicide and people are dying off of like causes that are not natural, or people are becoming more and more societal? It's because life continuing to deteriorate in America, but like people are not talking about it. So we are so keen to our minds are so locked to continue to think that the opportunities are all found here. I'll tell you one thing. I've worked as a deputy sheriff for about 2.5 years, and as of almost 5 months now, becoming a police officer, I deal with a lot more intense thing than I did when I was a deputy sheriff, because I spent more of my time in a courthouse when I was a deputy sheriff versus now being a police officer, where I go out on the streets, we respond to these calls and see the reality of things that are happening here in America. Like, I'd say 90% of the calls that we respond to are like mental health related type calls, where people are considering to kill themselves. And when you sit there and have conversations with people, like, it's so interesting that people are starting to feel that there is really nothing, and they feel like there is nowhere to run to. Like, they feel as though their life is pretty much limited. Their bills are not paid well, or they working 2 3 jobs but they still can't make it. And sometimes like they sit there because you have a lot going on in your head, right? A lot going on in your mind, that sometimes you start hearing voices that are telling you things that are not true, and these people are freaking out. And then when I have this conversation with friends, they don't want to I'm like, trust me, I'm dealing with this on a daily basis. Being a cop, working through the streets is no joke. And sometimes I go home and I think about all of this. I'm like, man, I've lived in America for 10 plus years now, and I really haven't seen any significant change in my life. If I had not made personal decisions to start a farm or buy a portion of land in Congo and start building within my farm, I probably would have been still sitting here having nothing going on for myself. And with the plot of land that I purchased in a residential area, of course, with time, I will get there. But when I do the math with the money that I make here in America, because it's almost like a fairy tale, the money you make here. You might be making like $6,000 to $7,000 a month. But the moment the paycheck hits your bank account, within the next 3 or 4 days, that money is drained, it's over, it's done. So I didn't want to continue to live like that. I made the decision that I need to have something to live for in the Congo. So when I get this paycheck, I can send this money back home, do something more significant with it, right? And that's exactly what I have been doing for the past 2 going to 3 years now. And I am very happy with the results. And the more I do it, the closer it's bringing me to the country. And with certain reality that I've been witnessing when people building the barn, and some headaches that I'm going through, I just want to be there on the ground watching over everything so that I don't have anybody taking advantage of me. Not that people are taking advantage of you, but like you have your own, I have my own personal vision that it's only going to be implemented if I'm there, rather than just having people do it for you. That's just not going to cut it for me. So think about what I just told you right there. Do you have any idea what you could do if you are able to make profits that amount up to more than 1,000 US dollar in a week, being in Africa? Do you know what that means for you? And ladies and gentlemen, this is only like for 25 US $100 budget. If you have twice as much as that, or three times as much as that, only if you do it right. Because if you're getting into this, you need to know what you're doing, and probably talk to the people that have been doing this for a long time, and they will walk you through. Because I've seen people get into this type of business and fail just because they didn't want to listen to anybody. When you go into these places, you don't go around and purchase products from these villages and you see somebody laying around their charcoals in front of the homes. Don't just go ahead and buy it, especially if you're planning on purchasing and selling into the market. You need to go to the field where it's being made. You need to sit there and watch them load your bags while you see it happening, right? Then when you bring it back, you know exactly the amount that's inside and nobody scams you off of it. And once you got all this figured out, trust me, you're ready to rock and roll. And this business can make you money so quickly. I'm just not saying this because these are the things that I heard. No, this is the things that I have witnessed growing up. These are the things that my dad did, among other things that he has done, that brought in like more money so quickly at a short period of time. And as we speak, I even have friends that I went to high school with in Congo who are like college graduate. They work for a law firm in Congo, but then the money that they were making were not sufficient enough to make life possible for them. And guess what they had to do? They turn around, they start going purchasing this merchandise, and now they're happier doing this than they were with their with their college degree. I'm not here to tell you whether going to college is a good or a bad thing. That's not my job. You know what you value, but I do believe having some sort of education is good for you, because that's what the society demands. But do you need a college degree to succeed in life? I don't think so. I just think that going to college or having a college degree, it is another way of you going to make someone else rich. That's just how I see it. And since I do not want to continue to make people rich, no matter what I have been able to achieve, even becoming a police officer here, a lot of people are looking at me, you crazy? You a cop in America and you're planning on moving back to Africa? Maybe go to the police academy or put yourself through university and go to the academy, go through all this extensive physical training and everything else, graduate, go get a job, and then see what the realities are. And you can come back here, let me know what you feel about that. It's just not me. I'm more of a business oriented kind of guy. I have a business mindset. Like becoming a cop for me is just another achievement in my life, but it's never my ultimate goal. And I do not want to remain like this and doing that. No, that's not going to work. Could I become a farmer here in America? Possibly. But taxes, restrictions, and all this other crap that you got to go through, it is designed to cut off people who do not have billions or multi-million dollars to start with. Like these monopoly here in America, it is real. It is so ginormous. So get into this type of businesses, you're just not going to make it. Maybe you want to have like a little homestay, like a flock in the backyard and have a couple of chickens here and there, but it's never going to be enough as a source of income independently without needing a job. You can only achieve that if you move back to Africa, buy your land and build your structures and bring the animals in and just start your business. Look at the demand. Look at the increase of population in most of these African countries. You see the demand is continue to grow bigger. And if you own the land and you have animals there, do you have any idea the change you will make by just farming, doing something along those lines? Listen, on my channel, I welcome everybody. My objective on this channel is to continue to encourage you, to motivate people, to go back home to invest. Whatever you're good at, you have my support. As long as you are planning on bringing your knowledge and your expertise to the country, to Africa, where local people can benefit from, create jobs, provide opportunities to the younger generation, maybe opportunities you were not provided growing up. That's probably led you to consider traveling outside of the Africa. But now that you have the money, you can make a change. Don't just sit there. No, somebody else got to get it started. I've always told people, look, listen, if you're just sitting there and expect the government to do everything for you, you will just sit there and wait for those infrastructures to become available, because guess what? It ain't never going to happen. The only person capable of making a change, it is you watching this live stream. Nobody else. It is you guys. You have that power. And make no mistake, and nobody can take that power away from you. You have to stand up. You have to get up and go out there and make the change. Ah, Mbote. Merci d'avoir cliqué sur la vidéo, pardon. That really means a lot. Thank you very much. Mbote na bino nyonso. Thanks a lot. So, as us Africans living in the diaspora, we should serve as a bridge to bring awareness to the people who are considering to come here for numerous reasons. I always say to people, listen, I am nobody to tell you what to do with your money. I am nobody to influence your decision, but I can only speak from experience. I can only tell you things that I have experienced, things that I see happening here in the West. And if you are considering to move here to the West, it is up to you, but you should also be prepared to go through mental challenges. You have to be prepared to physically be challenged, because jobs are not going to be any easier here. I am very glad for the past 3 years now, I was blessed to enjoy the training that I put myself through. I've been blessed to enjoy the studies that I've gone to school for. I'm very blessed to have jobs that paid well, to have jobs that treated me good, to have jobs that valued me, and to have career that I could be proud of. I am very, very appreciative of all of that. And I thank my parents who have raised me in a way that I am today. And I thank them every single day to everything they have done for me. They've made me the man that I am today. But I also read between the lines. I also see the direction in which the Congolese youth or the African youth is moving to. And I want to be able to have a voice that can make a change, that can change things. I want to be able to have a voice that would teach people things that they didn't know about living in the West. I want to be able to let people know that you cannot only make it in life if you move out of Africa. It is also possible to succeed while you're in Africa. Just because a lot of people don't share the stories on social media doesn't mean that people are struggling. Not everybody is struggling. And when we talk about struggles, the struggles only exist in It doesn't only exist in Africa. Struggle exists everywhere in the world. Maybe I should start like filming places where they have food banks here in America. Places where people that do not even have food, they go to these places here in America and they, get cards and food from the government. If this was the richest country in the world, why is it that a lot of people nowadays are still suffering? They don't even have anything to eat. They have to go get money or, get free food from all these food bank places here in America. So that should teach us something. For those of us that have jobs, for those of us that think that there are alternatives, there are a way you could change things around. Don't just sit around and blame everybody else for your own personal failure. That's just not how it works. Go back there, get started, and see what the outcome is going to be. Of course, that's what I always say. You have to do your homeworks first. You have to go back, even if it means traveling multiple times to make sure that you understand what is going on. You're better off doing that before you make the ultimate move. Because someone like me, I've been exposed to these types of activities coming from a family where my father did that, and I've seen them do it. And I saw one of my brothers do it, including my sister, one of my sisters. So for me, I only have good things to tell you about this particular activities that could bring money so quickly into your pockets. Until you figure out what you really want to do in Congo or Africa in general, take your time, do your own research. You'll be surprised what you find out. And once you go there, you will see people that have been doing this for like years. And they're still doing it. Why? Because it's made change in their lives. Don't just sit there and be like a spectator. Watch things from distance. You can go there and start making your own money. Hell, ask around how many people make $1,000 a week here in the U.S. Not that many people last time I checked. But with 2,500 US, 2,500, US dollars investment into this very, agriculture business idea that I just threw out to you earlier, you could easily make more than $1,000 a week. And you will continue to grow, because if you use that profit to put more merchandise into it, and can you imagine how much more money you could be making? So just, it's something to think about. Even if you don't really have that kind of capital, it is okay. Take your time, save up more, get involved. But before you get into it, learn. See what the advantages and disadvantages of it is. I always tell people, I really don't see that many disadvantages in agriculture. That's why I got into it so quickly. Because you have animals, you use almost everything from animals' waste to animals' urine and so forth. There is no loss in these businesses. If you're a true-born farmer and you see the potential in success doing this, you shouldn't really be just sitting there watching these videos. You should be starting like right now. I feel more comfortable when I'm on my farm making these videos rather than just going live and telling you things that you should do. That's what I'm about to do. And I will share all of my experiences. I am so excited to announce you today that the pig barn is finally completed. Finally, the pigs are about to move in there, and we're about to start building the borehole. Things are really getting so serious, guys, and I cannot wait to share that experience with you. But stay tuned, because I got a video that I worked on which is almost edited and ready to go since last night. I just got a few more touches to do to it, and it should be released by the end of the day tomorrow. So keep your alerts turned on for that video. That will really mean a lot. And share my video with a friend and tell another friend to join this squad, because here we talk about real stuff. We talk about business opportunities, business investments in Africa. If that is something that you feel like you have people that will be more interested in, hit the like button, share this video with a friend. Today is a work day. I gotta go to work. I have to start getting ready. And this is another thing. I'm already getting anxious. Anxiety is through the roof, but what choice do I have, right? As of now, I'm still a worker. But in a couple of months or maybe a year from now, we will have a different conversation. Thanks again for tuning in to watch this video. Until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Peace.